Hey there, listeners. Well, recently on episode 700 with a guy called Sean Willard, that's the interview I had with him, and he's based in South Africa. But Sean and I know and have met and spent time with a gentleman called John C. Maxwell. John is probably known as the world's guru in leadership. And Sean and I talked about John, and in particular about the book that he's written called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Now, this book is so important that I just couldn't not review it, right? This is really important for me to do this episode. So it's a must read for leaders at all levels. Today in this episode, I'm going to give you a bit of a book review and talk about the 21 laws that define great leaders. But it's more about whetting your appetite to help you understand the importance of this book. Let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos.
Welcome to the Ask Dennis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I ask a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Hey there, listeners. Well, wow. Episode 700. If you haven't actually heard that episode, you need to go and listen to it. It's an interview with a guy called Sean Willard, who's based in South Africa. We had a great chat about things, and we discussed a guy called John C. Maxwell. John has mentored him and I, being Sean and I, and we still today learn from him, use his material, share that with people. And he's written about 80 to 90 books on leadership, teams, and it's fantastic, right? So if you haven't already checked out John as an author or the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, I highly recommend that it's a must read for all leaders at all levels. The thing I like about John is that he writes in a way that's simple. It's easy to understand. There's a lot of leadership books out there today that are very technical. But John, as an author, as a speaker, as a leader, just says as it is and keeps it very simple. So in today's episode, I'm going to do a little bit of a book review around the 21 laws that define great leaders. Leadership is a journey, really. It's not a destination. In the book itself, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John provides some timeless principles or laws. The book has been written a little while ago, but it's timeless. And it really helps separate great leaders from those who merely just hold a position of authority because they've got a title. Now, the laws that John shares in the book is not just theories, because that's the thing, right? There's a lot of them out there and it's just theories. These are tested and proven principles that when you start to apply them, elevate your leadership effectiveness is what is the result of you applying it. So if you apply it, you're going to elevate your leadership effectiveness. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So what I'm going to do is break down those 21 laws. And the thing I'd like you to do is really see how you can apply them in today's fast-moving world. Because I think it's important for you to understand, A, what they are, but also how you can apply them. But also I want you to think about something else. What laws do you need to strengthen? What laws do you need to sharpen the knife or sharpen the edge to be even better in those different areas? Well, listeners, are you ready to get into it? Because I think we're going to go through all 21 real quick, very high level. And here goes number one, the law of the lid. Your leadership abilities determines your level of effectiveness. So if you want to raise your success, if you want to raise your organization's success, you must raise your leadership lid. Now, if you think about a trash can where it's got a lid on it, and whatever inside can't get out. But if we can lift the lid, in other words, develop your leadership skills, capabilities, experiences, then it's going to create a vacuum for others to follow. So growth is not optional, but it's a necessity. So the question here I've got for you is, how are you developing yourself as a leader? Number 2, here we go, the law of influence. Now, leadership is not about titles and it's not about positions. It's all about influence. And the strongest leaders don't demand respect and authority. They earn it by adding value to others. And if you can have a voice of influence, that's how you're going to help put things in place for number 2, the law of influence. Number 3, the law of process. Now, leadership develops daily. It doesn't develop in just one day, right? It's daily, it happens. And great leaders consistently, that key word, consistently. In fact, taking the word, or going from average to excelling or to excellence, comes down to that key word, which is consistency, right? So if you consistently invest in your growth through learning, mentorship, and experience, then you'll start to see. And it's all about a process that needs to happen for you to become the leader you need to be. Number 4 law is the law of navigation. So anyone can steer the ship, but a leader charts the course. So effective leaders, what they do is they start to think about and anticipate challenges, but what they also do is they start to plan accordingly. That's all to make sure and ensure that the team stays on track. So number 5 is the law of addition. And this one here is about true leadership is all about serving others. So the best leaders, what they do is they tend to focus on making those around them better, lifting them higher, and creating a legacy of impact. A leader that's not effective, or a leader that gets in their own way, is a leader that sort of starts to feel threatened by others who might be better than them. A smart leader is a leader who gets people around them and helps them be better in what they do. Number 6 law is the law of solid ground. Now, John talks about solid ground, but trust is the foundation of leadership. That is really the ground, right? That's the big thing. In a book by Patrick Lencioni, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, he talks about that the major foundation at the bottom of the triangle or a pyramid is the foundation of trust. Without integrity, influence will collapse. Leaders must be authentic, they've got to be consistent, and they need to be dependable. Number 7 is the law of respect. People naturally follow leaders who are stronger than themselves. So if you want to lead high caliber people, you must demonstrate high caliber leadership. And when you start to show and demonstrate high caliber leadership, that's when others will want to follow you. Number 8 is the law of intuition. Great leaders read situations and people instinctively. They read the room. They see opportunities where others see obstacles, and they make strategic moves, and they do it with confidence. If they can read the room, read the situation, it's amazing what they can do. Number 9 is the law of magnetism. Who you are is who you will attract. So if you want better people on your team, then you need to become the kind of leader that great people want to follow, right? So it's a bit like the law of respect, where the higher caliber people are following each other. But this is also about the kind of leader you want to be, but the great people want to follow, right? So that's the thing for you to do. The law of a connection is number 10. Leaders touch hearts before they ask for a hand. People follow those they feel connected to. So relationships must come before results. People don't care what your title is. They don't care what your position is. They only care that you care about them. And once they know that you care about them, they're with you on the journey. And I've just seen this demonstrated in an organization that I'm working with. A new leaders come on board. And so the leadership team that's going to report into that person have had their initial one-on-ones. And for a lot of them, they've been talking to me about those one-on-ones. Time after time, or session after session, I keep hearing the same thing or themes that were happening. The new leader isn't even talking about work. They're actually more interested in the people and understanding about the people and who they are, their families, their backgrounds, what they like doing, and so forth. So it's interesting, right? So it's about you making sure that people understand, you understand people, and you're interested in them. The law of a connection is number 10, as I said. So it's about those relationships that must come before results, hence the example I just gave you. Number 11 is the law of inner circle. A leader's potential is determined by those closest to them. Now, if you can surround yourself with people who will challenge, support, and push you to be even better, that's the kind of people you want around you. That's the inner circle. The thing I would say to leaders all the time is, do you have the right people around you? One is around your inner circle, and two is the people working for you. When I ask that question, most people go, yep, and then they start to think about it. I'm going to say to you, make sure you've got the right people around you, in particular, the law of the inner circle. Number 12 is the law of empowerment. So strong leaders, they don't hoard or hang on to or want power. They always give it away. So empowering others strengthens the organization and creates more leaders, not just followers. That's a massive one, right? That's really important. Number 13 is the law of the picture. People do what people see. So leaders, you must model the behaviors and attitudes that you want your teams to embody. Leadership is caught more than it's taught. Now, people will see the things that you do and the things that you say. And if you're not portraying the right behaviors, then you're just going to be getting exactly what you've just asked for. So be careful, be smart about it, understand the law of the picture. Number 14, here we go. It's the law of buy-in. People buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. If your team doesn't trust or believe in you, they won't commit to your mission, to the goals, to your purpose. In fact, they'll vote with their feet and they'll leave the team and the organization. Have you ever heard of that saying, people join organizations, but they leave leaders? This is where it all comes from. Number 15 is the law of victory. Leaders find a way for the team to win, and they don't accept defeat, and always what they tend to do is they always seek solutions, they're adapting, and they're pushing forward until success is achieved. Number 16, this is a real interesting one, the law of the big mo. And I thought, do I have to grow a big mustache? Is that what you're talking about? No, mo stands for momentum, is the leader's best friend. When you create and maintain positive energy, it fuels progress and propels your team to greater success. Number 17, the law of priorities. Activity does not equal accomplishment. Great leaders focus on what matters most and eliminate distractions that do not serve the mission. I'm going to challenge all of you right now, because even today, are you doing something that sort of makes you feel like you're busy, but is it actually really helping you accomplish what you need to do? Is it going towards the purpose, the mission, and everything we should be working towards? I challenge you to look at that today and ask yourself that question. What I'm doing right now, this activity right now, is this helping me towards the mission, towards the goal? And if the answer is no, stop doing it. Let go. Leave it alone. Go and focus on what you need to do. Hey, episode 18 is the law of sacrifice. You have to give up to go up. Leadership requires at times trade-offs, time, comfort, and sometimes personal gain to serve the bigger vision. I've seen leaders who have missed out on roles to help serve the bigger vision. I've seen leaders work really hard and long hours at the expense of things. But that's all not for our own personal gains, but it's about to help and serve the bigger vision. I'm going to put a bit of a caveat here too, because this is very high level what I'm sharing with you today. You've got to read the book. But one thing I would say to you is as well is that doesn't mean you need to do this every single day. You don't need to have the law of sacrifice every single day. Just know that leaders do go the extra mile, and that's what makes a leader. Number 19 is the law of timing. Knowing what to do is important, but knowing when to do it is crucial. Leaders master the art of timing to maximize impact. This is why I work with leaders around my model called Success Hour model. And the Success Hour helps them understand where they should be working and when. And for a lot of them, it's helping them not throw mud on the wall and hope everything sticks. They are very targeted on where they're working and what they're doing. But the law of timing is everything. Now, some of you are listening to this right now, you want something and you want it now. It's not time yet, right? So patience was one, but the second thing is, when is the right time? And when is the right time to do it to have major impact? Because that is the thing. You can do it today, but if you wait just a little bit longer, there could be even better, stronger impact that's going to happen. Number 20 is the law of explosive growth. To grow an organization, focus on leading followers. To multiply and create lasting impact, focus on developing leaders. I'm going to go through this one again. So the law of explosive growth. If you want to just grow an organization, then focus on leading the followers. But if you want to multiply, if you want to have explosive growth, if you want to create that lasting impact, then the thing that you should be focusing on is developing leaders. There's a difference. Number 21, we got here. Here it is, the last one of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. 21 is the law of legacy. And I love this one. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. True leadership is not about personal achievements, but it's about leaving a legacy that outlives you. I've been talking to some leaders about this of late. I've been talking about what are they doing today to build their legacy, but also help build the legacy of the future. In other words, leaders to take over the reins in the future. It's one of our responsibilities as leaders is to build legacy. And so 21, the law of legacy, is important. Well, listeners, that's the 21 laws, but so what? I mean, how do you apply these laws to your leadership? Because you see, to understand these laws is one thing. Now, I'm going to say something here right now, and that is, yes, don't listen to this podcast in the sense of just the 21 laws and what I've shared with you. I'm going to highly recommend you you're going, buy the book. And I think it might even be on Audible as well for you to listen to it. But I highly recommend you go and read the book because it gives you examples and so forth. There's so much more rich learnings and teachings in that book, more than I can give to you in a 20-minute episode on the podcast. So understanding these laws is one thing. Living them is another. Leadership's about being intentional, consistent, and willing to grow. So my question to you as listeners, as I went through the 21 laws, which of the laws do you need to strengthen? What actions will you take today to apply them in your leadership journey and what you're doing? Remember, leadership is not a title, it's a responsibility. So, listeners, the thing that you need to do here is to keep adapting, keep growing, and most importantly, keep leading with purpose. Okay, your call to action, there's 2 of them this week, and I'd love you to do this, is to listen to this episode again. Write down the laws and work out which ones you need to strengthen. In fact, you might even want to go and get the book first, read the book, and listen to the episode, and then write down the laws and start working on them to see which ones you need to strengthen. Number 2, if you need help in helping you grow as a leader, helping you with some coaching, some goals, some things whereby you want to strengthen some of these areas that we have on the 21 laws, then feel free to book a free call with me for 30 minutes. I call it book a call with Denis or a strategy call. So what I'd like you to do is go to my website, leadingchangepartners.com, and then you'll see some buttons on all the different pages, which is book a call, book a call. Go ahead and click on it, book a call, and up will come my booking link, and you can see the day and the times that you're available, and it's suitable for you, but also for me. And then click it in, and we'll put it in both into our calendars, and we'll get on a Zoom call and have a chat. If you don't want to check out the website, go down below into the show notes. The link is there for you as well. The production team will put that in there for you around what you need to click on to come to and book a call with me as well. I'd love to have a chat with you. I'd love to help you and see what I can do to help. Okay. Hey, listeners, well, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.